And we're live. Hello and welcome to a special episode of Maddie Allen Live with Anders of Love.io. Welcome.
Thank you, Maddie.
I already know because you've come on my channel so many times that we're going to have a great conversation tonight. You're an OG Bitcoiner. You're somebody who's been into Hex since the beginning, and you're also a builder on Pulse Chain that really stands out as somebody who has a number of things that are working out really well for you. And so, people hit the like and subscribe button, share this out. Welcome. Welcome to our conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Very nice.
So, just to give kind of some of the highlights we might cover today. You have traveled around the world to go to different blockchain conferences because you are really excited about the idea of getting more people involved with Pulse Chain and people who aren't already involved with Pulse Chain, that's
Yeah,
really cool. That's something that we don't always see in our builders and YouTubers and people in the community. And so you've been to like lots of crypto
yeah,
conferences, and you just went to one of the biggest crypto conferences that they have in the world each year, which is called Token 2049. Is that right?
yeah,
In
yeah.
Dubai
So it,
this year.
yeah, yeah. So it's actually several big events in Dubai. So there are several actually with all the side events. It's over 400 events, and
Whoa.
yeah, so it's really crazy. So as you say, I've been to all over the world. So only the past year, when we're launching Lab.io, I've been to over 40 international conferences now. But
40.
yeah,
Nice.
so it's and some smaller and some bigger. But this last week or during 10 days was by far the biggest I have ever seen, I would say.
Really?
Uh,
Do you have any
yeah,
sense of how many people were at Token
yeah,
2049 in Dubai this year?
yeah. So with all events, I would probably say that there were, probably 100,000. I would say it's always hard to
Whoa.
Yeah, it's always hard to really estimate numbers, and especially this year too, because there was the problems with the floodings as well
Mm.
in the beginning, like the first days there. But it was full, and as I mentioned, you have not only token 2049. So first. There is Blockchain Live, which is a huge event as well. And
Are these sub events or
yeah,
are
but it's
separate?
yeah, I would say that it's like a big crypto and blockchain week. So you have the three events. So the first one is the Blockchain Live, and then it's Token 2049, and then you have the World Blockchain Summit, it's it called, and then, as I said, you have around like 400 side events, and that can be different communities. It can be DeFi meetup and different sponsored by different communities. Like I basically don't pay anything joining these events. It's all everything is almost free, and if it's like evenings, then you there is like free flow in bars and everything, because everything is like community based and so on.
Wow, they
And
must have some good whales around there.
yeah, yeah. So it's amazing because it's so much, and also a lot of economic energy. It's so much money now coming into
Mm.
the space, and everyone wants to, yeah, be the ones that holds like the best events and so on. We have our dev meetup, and they are together with. Working a lot with another Russian dev company called Gotbits, and so they are a dev company, but then they also have a hedge fund of 1.5 billion
Not
that
too
they
shabby.
no, exactly. So it's like
Well,
this incredible amount of monies they have, and then of course they throw a party and spending half a
yeah.
million maybe, and so
So it
it's
sounds
really
pretty
crazy.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but it's a lot of like networking. You meet a lot of people. Like my voice, as you maybe hear, it's not from drinking, but I've been like talking so much. We had a booth as well in there, and had our team there as well, and talking. Have so many people coming like the whole time, and we since we have the perfect brand name, love.io, and we are not called, uh, X Sabarabba token. It's we have a very precise name, so people
yeah.
who comes to an expo, they look and then, oh, love, what is that? Love.io. Okay, then they tick that of the 1,000 cryptos that is at part of the expo. Then of course they always stop by and wants to have an introduction of love.io. So it's
You hook
really,
them in, even if they have a
yeah,
negative association with Hex. They're
no, no,
still
exactly.
swimming your way.
I do, and I always, my intro is, like, you want to have an introduction to love, and always a smile, and so that is, it's to have that, like, the positive feeling, and that is what everything we do, and
Yeah, yeah, that's I'll just pause there and say that that is an awesome way to onboard whales into Pulse Chain to
yeah,
get new users to figure out what's going on here. And
yeah,
Funding Jim talks about this a lot. He travels around the world all year round, talking
yeah,
to high net worth individuals and putting in FaceTime to get us more known in the world.
yeah,
And if you, who's watching, if you have ever attended a crypto event, put a comment in the stream. And if you've never attended, tell us that too, because I have a feeling that there's a lot of people that are watching that they have attended at least one of the Hex Tour or Pulse Chain Tour events in person. They might have gone to my Hex conference that had the world record for the most Hex people coming
yeah,
together in
yeah,
one place, and that was back in 2022. But there are probably a lot of people who haven't ever been in person
yeah,
at any crypto event. And
no,
so Anders, that's one area where you're really strong. And
yeah,
like I want to hear what your adventures were in Token 2049. And I
yeah,
also want to think about like what are the upcoming events, because I know
yeah,
Bitcoin. We're doing Bitcoin Nashville. A bunch of people in
yeah, yeah,
Hex.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, in July 24th it's the 25th to the 27th. And
yeah.
then I also saw I've never been to an Ethereum conference. I've
No,
only
no, no.
been to Hex,
Mm.
Pulse Chain, and Bitcoin.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
hear that Consensus is going to be happening in Austin, Texas, which is one of my favorite places. So
Yeah. No, that's yeah. I got an invitation on X to join to the Nashville. So and I would love to go to
Nice.
Nashville. I've never been there as
Yeah.
well.
I might bring the DeLorean there. It's
Yeah,
not too far.
yeah. Oh,
It's not too
maybe I
far.
come if you promise me I can drive it.
So
Yeah, no. So it's
yeah.
now it is very exciting, and why we do this is of course to get economic energy into lab.io. And since our main chain we are building on, even if we are a multi-chain token to tap into other monetary energy and other networks, our main chain is Pulse Chain. We wouldn't be able to have our core utility functions like micro tipping, loyalty points, and so on
Yeah.
if we wouldn't have Pulse Chain. And since Pulse Chain is an EVM, that means that we can also connect to other EVM chains and offer our dApps and everything on those chains as well, and tapping in to different economic energy. And that is also a strong advantage that Lab.io have, that we are a multi-chain. So that means that it becomes much easier when we are out marketing on crypto conferences and so on, because if they are a big supporter to Base as well, then we can say, yes, we are launching on Base as well. We have devs working on integrations. That is soon all of them already. Some are already working. And so that means that you can always start these conversations. And especially
Yeah.
this time around, just like I tweeted yesterday, that today, this time in Dubai, it was a lot of course, talk about the Pulse Chain and the big dump that have happened the past 8 weeks that have gone down and so on. And of course, for us, that is so focused, and our main liquidity pair is on PulseX, that have hurted us as well. But we don't see it that way. Like, of course, short term, it's if someone wants to sell today, then of course price matters. But just like you introduced me in the beginning, I have been in the space so long and seen uh, so much in the past, and especially the early Bitcoin days, when the volatility that happened there, and we have had it in Ethereum, and we even had it in Hex, in the early days, especially.
Yeah.
And and that is for many like successful cryptocurrencies for the long term. There is part of it is a big volatility issue that can happen.
Dips are in the
But
game, and
yeah,
this
it is.
audience, they're not crying too hard because they've been here for the long term anyway.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It is. It is the long term, as long as the fundamentals are there, and that is like the most important. And I see that in Pulse Chain, like priority number one for us, the fundamentals, and why we have launched and have Pulse Chain as our main chain is because it is, first of all, it's an EVM. So that means that we get the whole infrastructure when it comes to wallets and so on that others have. It's not the Solana or anything else that would have been a lot of infra for us to build to be compatible. So that is that. And then, of course, the things that Richard also changed in the Pulse chain with the cheap transactions
It's a big
and so
deal.
on. It's a huge deal because otherwise, to have like love micro tipping and love loyalty and so on would be impossible. So the fundamentals technology is of course there. We all know that, and that is not cannot be compared to any other chain. And then the other fundamentals that we have is whatever that we have talked about in the past. This with a very emotional community, and there have been a lot of like FUD and people leaving and then coming back. I saw one tweet today from someone saying that I'm back, in the community. I have always been in the community, and that now happens. And everyone that is like leaving, of course, they welcome back, to come in and so on again. And but it's of course creates these division and so on. But I don't see that as a huge problem, because that was the same division that had been in Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic. Like all of them
Yeah.
have had like so much fun in the communities. But it is to just have the community and to have so many people. That is the strong thing, and that is what we
Yeah.
have like in Pulse
It,
Chain and everything. And
it's
we have
it's it's because you bring so many different people together that
yeah,
normally wouldn't get along. That's
no,
why you have so much infighting and
yeah,
tribalism. Part of the reason in crypto, and so
yeah,
it doesn't worry me either, Anders. And I'm
no,
glad to hear you say, as an early Bitcoiner, that
yeah,
we are following in the steps of greatness.
yeah. It is so that is like a huge strength that we have, because there are many new chains that have like a ghost chains, like have like
Yes.
4 or 5 users per day. And we are a new chain, and we have like 15,000 unique users per day on Pulsex. It's amazing, and that is even if we have lost so much in uh, in market value and the price. Even then, we have so many people using so on. Think what will
We
happen
were
when.
we were just so high. Like we just did. Does nobody remember when when PulseX was at sack rate and a,
Yeah,
a pulse chain was 2x sack rate? Uh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
remember.
yeah. So it's no. So it was, and it's yeah. I see that as just things that works in advantage. And as I said, for us to have be like main liquidity pair with PLX, and of course going from 2.5 million in liquidity to down to like 500K in liquidity. Of course, it feels, but at the same time, you should always also look at it in the positive way. And one thing is that okay, you can get like a sort of a bottom, which I believe that we are at now, and then you will have a beautiful candle coming in from and green candles, as we say, is like the best marketing tool. So that is also, and just quick, and of course the biggest uh, thing that we have is that we have basically unused SAC funds that is ready to be pumped into the ecosystem, and that is
That's not the biggest thing.
yeah, but it is because if you would just calculate and see that if there is no resistance, this is like a 20x, and if we just can get away and wait out this resistance that probably are there with these weak whales that don't have a long term vision of our ecosystem, if we can just like wait out them and let them sell at these levels. And
We have to crush them instead of making them believe that they're going to get a 20x. They
yeah,
need to
yeah,
go bye
exactly.
bye.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to understand no expectations. There's no sack
Exactly.
daddy coming to save you. And
Exactly.
if you're not contributing to the community and you're not
Yeah.
building something like Anders and I and like 100
Yeah.
other YouTubers
Yeah.
and 100, 200 projects, if you're not doing that, then you're the whale that's part of the problem. And
Yeah.
we have lots of whales that are giving
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
and making a big difference.
It's
And it's I love it.
yeah, it is, and so I just say let them bleed. Like if they and the coolest thing was because I believe that there maybe have been this communication or thoughts from them that why don't you push in the SAC funds, and because now the whole other things are going up, so we want to get out and get into other things that going up. And Richard or OA or whoever, just said no. But if you say like that, okay, then we move it over to ETH, and then we can wait until ETH goes up. Then we will gain that and then push into the Polchain ecosystem.
Yeah.
So I think that we get like the best. It's just a waiting game, and so we are very happy and back to. So that also created a lot of talk, of course, around these things. A lot of talks with people who were interested in that. And but it was so much positivity, and we had such a great time too, because we have finished so much of our dev work since the last time we were out on big conferences, because many times you meet a lot of the same people and
Mm.
they look like in the updates, and we have launched so much, finished our dApps on Ethereum, on Binance Smart Chain, and launched on Base as well. Lovify is amazing as well as an adoption tool, which we talked about before. It's incredible because what we have there is like the strongest brands in the world when it comes to cosmetics and perfumes and so on. And the only markup that is on the marketplace is those 10% cashback that they get in Love PRC 20s on Polchain. So that means that every purchase, if someone is purchasing something for $100, their favorite perfume, then that is automatically a buy order for Love, and we are seeing that is like something that is working, and it's like growing and can be like massive. And
Yeah.
one of the huge news, so we know that we have something really big in Lovify for like crypto adoption and to grow our like network. Like we are
Yeah.
very very small community now, but we get like adoption every day coming in, and this is just a matter of growing it and accelerate it. And one of our biggest sacrificers and in Love.io is actually one in the top management of one of the world largest home sales and direct sales companies.
Mm.
And what we are planning also to do with Lovify and Love.io is to start to also implement like crypto education, some easy educational material about, of course, Love and our ecosystem, and also like general. I think it's a very important to have like general like crypto information and what makes a cryptocurrency valuable. It's not this with like meme tokens. It is this, as we talked about, how a network is developed, how Bitcoin became Bitcoin from a few cents and a few thousand people using it to become, like the most valuable cryptocurrency in the world. How could the network go from that? The network value is that the cryptocurrency must have some kind of a utility function, and so on. And then of course we have that as our main things when it comes to like Loveify and so on.
There are a lot of people who don't like utility. They like gambling on meme coins. And I
Yeah,
talk to them a lot. And I'm
yeah,
slowly working my
yeah,
way into the inner circles of these
yeah.
meme cults. And guess what? I don't like gambling, and
No,
I like utility. And
yeah,
I've been speaking at these Mario Nafwal spaces with
mm,
4,000 people listening
yeah,
live, 100,000 on the replay, and
yeah,
I'm just like I've probably done like 10 spaces, maybe
yeah,
12 or something, and we're slowly starting to build more pulse chain and hex people with
yeah,
like the
yeah,
subtle shill.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not me like being like, I love Richard and you need to buy my bag and like all this stuff. It's
no, no,
like, no, it's like I just have a little hex symbol next to my name, and like I
yeah,
say things that everybody in crypto wants to hear.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
no,
yeah.
so that's an area where people are seeing me go into a community that I, you know, am trying to
Yeah.
build a bridge with. But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I want meme coins to be the future of crypto. And I
No,
don't
no,
think you want that either.
no, no. And it's uh, and honestly, I would tell you honestly, like it's crypto always amazes me, when I have done that for the past yeah many years, and but I probably never have met a meme coin millionaire. It's
Mm,
not like one guy that have come up to me, and or I have read, like, oh, the Doge founder, he's sitting on 20% of the supply of Doge, or whatever.
that's a good
But
point.
but I have met so many like Hexagon, uh,
Yeah.
uh, really that have made, like hundreds of millions on Hex. I have met Bitcoin, many big Bitcoiners that have made, huge amount of money, not like maybe been in the whole race the whole time, but have made substantial, and of course Ethereum whales, and so on.
Yeah.
And it is the long term that is. Plus that I would I think it's not good for your health either when you are in this like the trading and meme coins, and so on. I think it's very similar to, like you say, gambling or leverage
Yeah.
trading, and so
Yeah.
on. It's not good for your mental health. It's like
Correct.
crypto is like the long term, that it is a network. You lock in economic energy in a network, and to have that economic energy in the network, there should be some kind of utility. We saw it in Bitcoin. The first real utility, if we don't count in the pizza example, which was like was probably not the real market value for a pizza, with what was it, 12,000 bitcoins for a pizza in
Yeah.
2010.
It's
But
a
we have it
good
in
deal.
2011 when WikiLeaks started to accept Bitcoin. Then there became like a real utility because every supporter around the world that needed censorship resistance, because Visa and Mastercard was not allowed to take payments to WikiLeaks, then people had to buy Bitcoin, and Bitcoin became a utility. Then Bitcoin went up to $1. because they had a utility function. People in the network, they saw value to be there. And then, of course, we had a big upswing with Silk Road that uh, became other parts of utility in the network, and more people, youngsters that wanted to buy drugs on the internet, they got Bitcoin, and then in the US, and then Bitcoin went up to 1300 in that. So we have seen that in networks that there should be some kind of utility bringing that lock in, and then of course we have the DeFi generation. We have true DeFi when Richard developed Hex, and with
Yeah.
no middleman, that could take your funds and so on. So we have all of these example that how I see like crypto, and back to that. So what we have now with Love and Lovify.com is an adoption model that we can basically get into homes through direct sell approach, and then we have a marketplace with basically any product that a woman uses, and since there is only 10% markup in form of a cashback, the prices are very good. So that means that just to get in people's homes through direct selling, and so on. And then there is also an introduction. Okay, now you buy this Dior perfume, you have $10 in cashback, or you have this amount of cashback. Then you also have a Love cryptocurrency, and then you can get that introduction and what they can do, like with the cryptocurrency and so on. So we are planning of building that like educational material, and then including also like YouTubers and so on. And then of course they are in the network, and especially as we say, the Polchain network. So that means also can be educational material about other products on Polchain. It can be educational material about Hex as well. It can be all of that. And we are believing that that is like a massive adoption tool. I have another news too that is very interesting and using like the similar model, and that
Let's hear
is
it.
that is with in Dubai. I don't know if you heard about this Sun mini meal that was tweeted out, and
What was
it is
tweeted? I didn't
it
hear
was
you.
tweeted before the Hex the Dubai conference. It was tweeted out that it was a new project that was launching on Polchain,
Oh
and
yeah.
they're using an Sun mini meal, is it called, and it's a very interesting idea and very similar to what we are doing with Lovify.com. So we are actually trying to meet up with that team to talk how we can cooperate. So it is the founder is one of the largest, if not the largest, sacrificer to Polchain, and
Mm.
so it's a big whale based in Switzerland that have a big background in entrepreneurial background, very successful entrepreneur in Europe, in the, as I understand it, in the diet and vegetarian meal business in Europe. And he, as I mentioned too, is one of the largest sacrificers to Polchain. And he will deploy $20 million in these Sun mini meal, which is a new healthy bar that they have developed, and it's supposedly to be like really nutritious and so on. But what they will include is also some kind of reward system or cashback. So every time people are buying this Europe, then you will receive a reward in their token. And of course, we are looking at maybe doing a cooperation with them, because we, of course, have the same model, and we also have a lot of devs, infrastructure, over 30 devs that we work with, so we can probably assist them as well. But the model is very interesting, that you're using like a sales network. You have a product, as we do in Lovify, we are using famous cosmetics and so on. And then you include a reward system in that they can claim. Not all people will claim it in the first place, but every time, since that is the markup, it becomes a buy order. So you have a constant buy pressure of your token that all your sacrificers and everything loves, of course, because that means the price appreciation. And then you're getting into these like sales network, the direct sales network, just to get into people's like home, to be able to introduce the real, true DeFi, true cryptocurrency, and not this, as we talked before, about like meme coins that is pumped up by the team and sold by the team, and then
Yeah.
gone. That this is actually something that is in the long term, is capturing economic energy. It's outside the fiat system, so that means it doesn't matter how much the Fed is printing. The more Fed is printing, that is our economic energy that is locked in this token or ecosystem actually will gain in the long term. So, and that is what I believe that we must start, and get into. There have been like scam coins selling in on direct marketing, like billions of dollars. You probably heard about the scam coin, OneCoin, and they didn't even have a cryptocurrency, and but they were just like selling that through this with like direct marketing and so on. But I believe that you can actually do it in a legal way, and especially now when we're not talking about launching a new cryptocurrency or anything, because everything is already airdropped, in our ecosystem. So now it's more about basically getting people to join our code. They are joining our protocol, our code,
Yeah.
so that is, I think that we can like set up, and using all the strength that we have in with how many YouTubers does our ecosystem have? It's like
240.
yeah, 240 is like amazing. Think about having everyone, like in the same direction, and then getting something like this going, with like
Yeah.
crypto.
Well, have you heard about what I'm building?
Yes, I have heard, but I've been in
It's a
Dubai the
bit of a
past.
mystery.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we should, yeah. You have to introduce me more to it, and then
Yeah, the key takeaway right now is that if somebody's watching this stream, they can participate by doing a free claim. I'm doing a
yeah,
free claim where you give me a fresh wallet address. So that's really cool. That's something that 400 people did it in the first day and a half. And
okay,
then my hand got tired of copying
yeah,
addresses. And
yeah,
there's been a lot more. There's been at least 100 more in the third day. Um, so so people go out there and put it on Twitter. There's a link in the description below.
yeah,
And then, so that's the free way to participate. And then another way that people are participating in um, something that I've talked about is doing a sacrifice. And so
yeah,
that goes for 30 days, and there's like more pieces of the puzzle that come
yeah,
together every day. So yeah,
yeah,
that's what I can say now. But
yeah,
But what you're doing and what this other whale is doing
Yeah,
with the health food
yeah,
cashback, kind of like decentralized science. I heard
yeah,
is one way that they put it, and
yeah,
that's kind of the way that I look at what I do as a crypto psychologist is like decentralized science with
yeah,
time locking and smart contracts.
yeah,
But I know what you're talking about, and
yeah,
I think other people who are watching now they'll learn. But the thing that you and some of the other whales do is that you market to people outside of our community because
yeah,
you're creating adoption. And so the
yeah,
people inside the community, they don't always know, but then they look at me and like, I'm excited about what you're
yeah,
doing. And I think
yeah,
other people should be excited too. And
yeah,
just like you said, I can see the pieces coming together in a
yeah,
way that makes me really positive and calm about like the future
yeah.
of Pulse Chain.
Yeah.
Makes me really
No, it
confident.
is. Yeah, it is. And yeah, since English is not my native language, sometimes I have a little hard to get my communication and express what we are doing. But what we are doing is bringing, like creating this adoption,
Yeah.
and as I say, and it's working. Now it's just a matter of accelerating.
Yeah.
We have these like fantastic Lovify products, and we are connecting also with like normal influencers on social media. They post their Dior perfume, for example, buy it here, and then they can earn love. So we're getting them into these, as I say, this economic energy, lock them in. The more network grows, the higher price of love,
Yeah.
and tapping into these things. So now it's, as I say, one of our biggest supporters in Love.io is already in the top of one of the largest direct marketing companies in the world, and so I have great hopes that we will have like
Cool.
Lovify products in every living room in the United States and everywhere, and then they buy their favorite brands, and then they earn love cryptocurrency, and then they come into the network. So it is fantastic. Yeah, I got some feedback from the girls here I saw in the chat, and they said that this is like every uh, girl's dream in adoption, to be able to offer, these products to other like women and so on, and then they get earn cryptocurrency for it,
It's
and I
brilliant.
think,
Yeah, it's really, really a great idea that, as you say, is already taking off. And now, with the right people and the right human resources, the social capital that we have in the Hex community and Pulse
yeah,
Chain, because we time locked for 15 years, because we come together for conferences, and because we have a diverse set of builders such as yourself, myself. Do they have a name for the project of the
yeah, they
DSci
call it
food company?
Sun. I think it's Sun is the name of the project,
Is it
meaning,
like the sun in the sky?
yeah, Sun in the sky.
Okay.
And then the website, I think it's because the product that they have is called the Mini Meal, and as I mentioned, it's a Swiss nutrition company, quite big in Europe, and the founder, he is if not the largest sacrifice of the pulse chain, and he have committed to do like 20 million in liquidity to this token. So, but they have delayed their launch a bit, so they did a presentation in Dubai, and I met. Not him because I don't think he could come because of the flooding to the
Mm,
meetup. We had a pulse chain meetup in Dubai as well, but I met Hex Scout, the legendary Hex Scout
okay.
was here. Yeah, very nice guy, and I met Susan Hexagon as well. So they were so they had also met
Awesome.
the Sun founder, and he's sponsored. That's amazing, and we should, yeah, we should maybe have taken more advantage and push this, but it's never too late. So I think that we should get more involved now. But they did, and I'm trying to get more involved. So I have sent message to the founder that we should meet and so on and talk how we could cooperate. But he also went in and sponsored the whole world blockchain summit, and that is probably a sponsorship that cost probably could be up to $500,000 to co-sponsor that. So and that was not. I know that some in the German community tried to push it, but of course maybe if we would have had some more time, we could have used that more. And as I said, I trying to get in contact with them now and how we can assist from Lab.io and how we can work together because it's the same adoption model and so on that we are seeing is working, and we can really attract new adoption to our ecosystem.
Awesome. Well, this has been a very hopeful chat, and yeah, people who are following along closely, they're I'm sure very thrilled, just
Yeah,
like I am, that there are people out there like you who have the best interests at heart and who have these great ideas that can bring crypto to everyday people. Onboarding is like the hardest thing. People, especially no coiners. So on behalf of everybody in crypto, I want to thank you and everybody else who is figuring out how to make this work because
yeah. Thank
crypto is needed. Yeah.
Thank you, Maddie. And everyone should have some love in their wallet. So, and I will check your wallet and send you some love as well. But
Oh, nice. Yeah.
everything you do.
I appreciate it, and yeah, my goal is to pay forward everything I can because there's this list of people that are giving fresh wallet addresses, and they are,
Yeah,
in my opinion, they're the best people to prove what real DeFi is about. So,
yeah,
yeah, with that being said, I also want to make sure everybody knows that that you and all the builders are welcome at the Pulse Chain Conference online that we have coming up here on May 10th through 13th. I will be building the schedule over the next 2 days and letting the speakers know. People who go to I guess you have to go to pulsechainconference.com and then click through to the Twitter account to see the speaker invitation. For anybody who's listening who hasn't spoken before, I won't know to reach out to you. And but yeah, we've already got 66 people signed up, and normally I have to run down about 20 people anyway. So yeah, it's gonna be what everybody's used to, which is something you don't find anywhere else in crypto. Is the type of conferences we have. So I'm looking forward to having you back on the channel, Anders,
yeah.
here in the next 2 weeks.
Thank you, Maddie. Always nice to talk to you.
Absolutely. And can you tell people where to go to find out
Yeah.
more about you in the meantime?
Uh, So if you don't follow me yet, please follow me on Love Paul Chain on X, Twitter. You can find me on Telegram. It's Anders Johnsson. It's Johnsson is the Swedish spelling with two S's. And the same on LinkedIn. I will be more active on LinkedIn, but you can find me there as well, and also my professional background and so on. Yeah,
Awesome.
and then of course love.io.
That's
That
right.
is our website.
So I'm firing off all the links here in the chat for people to go. You can look in the description as well, the description below. I put Anders' links in here as well as my own for people to go free claim for my mysterious call to action. And also my sacrifice is in there. Now we're on day 11 of 30 and the time bonus is not too harsh. So lots of people I think will be finding out about it more in the coming days anyway. So yeah, Anders, thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stick around in the green room here, but I'm gonna play some music here for a few seconds. And thanks again for being here. I'll catch you all next time. Stake wisely, my
Thank
friends,
you.
and peace
Cheers.
out. Thanks.
Cheers. Bye.